This is Ring the Damn Bell, your weekly shot of Sixers news, stories, and heartbreak. Let's go trust the neighbors.
Welcome to Ring the Damn Bell for the third time or the fifth time. Having a little technical difficulties, but I'm John.
I'm Sanaj, and I'm elated.
And there you go. Sanaj is happy today. So, Sanaj, we don't have to put you on any medication this time, right? You're not depressed.
I'm going to check your medicine cabinet. We got to see what's going on here.
Well, we have some good things to talk about today, don't we?
For once, it feels like it's been a long time. So
we've been
on this nice spring, sunny, warm day.
Beautiful day, and it is opening day for the Phillies this year. And I just heard that Kyle Schwarber hit a 2-run home run.
There you go.
I think it was in the bottom of the first. I just got home as we jumped on here for the recording. I heard actually AC Mike texted me and told me that.
Well,
so
there you go.
There you go. So we'll see. But anyway, a couple things to talk about. Embiid and PG return. We were at the game last night. It was exciting. It was the first time, probably the most fun game we've seen all year. Even though we're playing the G League Bulls and scored a lot of points. But what are your thoughts? I guess you had a chance to watch the game on the tube.
Yeah, it was. I got to say, I was really impressed with what I saw. Obviously, I think everyone was, but I took a lot of joy in seeing Embiid out there, being very aggressive, being very engaged. We know when he wants to play, he's one of the best in the league. But what was surprising to me was his defense. He was running around all over the place, trying to cover the ground. I think every time he comes back from an injury, he's trying to prove to everyone I could still play. And he's proving it. Game after game, he comes back. Like, he is one of the best players in the league, and we have him.
Well, I think he showed you why he is a superstar, because that team is night and day with him and without him. And one of the things I was impressed with, they were on offense down our end of the court, the first half. And so having a chance to kind of watch up close, his movement was great. The ball movement was great.
He looked really fluid out there. I haven't seen him that fluid all year, even when he was playing really well mid-season or earlier this season.
And you would expect after a layoff like this, he'd come back and he may kind of hang around the perimeter, shoot threes. He was aggressive. He was moving well. He was fluid.
He was banging down low like a champ.
He was playing through contact. He was dunking he dunked the basketball once last time. I mean, he looked really, really good. He scored 35 points in 3 quarters and only 26 minutes.
Let's back up and say one thing though. They said that he would be back after 3 games and kept prolonging it. So they obviously waited until PG was back so they could play together right before the playoffs. So he had extra rest, extra conditioning. So he was ready to come. You can't say he came back from injury and was just amazing. Come on, let's be real here.
Yeah, I know.
He conditioned but I'll take it. I'm not complaining. I'll take it.
Well, did you hear what he said in a post game interview?
I did not. Let's hear it.
He said that it hurts to cough. It hurts. So I think he's saying that the oblique is still painful. But at this point in time, look, you got 9 games left in the season. PG's back. Everybody played well. Now, look, let's not get overexcited here. We played the Bulls, a tanking team, right? I mean, I didn't even – do you know anybody on the team last night? I mean, Kobe White's gone. Kobe White is now with the Hornets. We play them next, right? And that's going to be a fun game. But
I mean, they're bottom of the league in defense. You know what? The last few months covering Sixers has been rough, so I want to be positive here. Yes, they played a G League Bulls and it was a bad team, but 157 points.
It's a lot of points.
I would say a little detraction. The Bulls got 137, but that's because we left the foot off the gas in the fourth quarter. Embiid had 35 in the first 3 quarters. They let off the gas in the fourth, obviously. But, man, 157 points. Now, how long was the last time the Sixers scored that much?
1970.
1970.
Scored that point. Now, it's interesting. So, yeah, I don't care how bad of a team or how bad you are or how good you are. They were up by, I think, 47 points at one point in time. So the game was over, and
it was.
PG had a 3-minute stretch where he just went off. I mean,
right.
It was like just shooting practice,
It was when the game didn't matter anymore, but that's good.
Yeah. But one of the things I noted in the game, it was actually in the first half when they're down at our end of the court. And Embiid and PG was struggling. Embiid came out, I think he hit his first 5 shots. He had 15 points in the first quarter. And PG was struggling. He struggled to get on track there. And Embiid kept telling him, you could see him mouthing this, keep shooting. He threw the ball back. He would give it back to Embiid. Embiid give it back to PG. keep shooting. And and he did, and he kind of worked through it. I think it worked.
I mean, to me, what you're telling that story right there is telling me how much Embiid matured and grew. That was not something he would do previously. He would shoot the lights out. Now he's getting his players engaged and get going.
Well, I think he knows. I think he realizes if they're going to make any kind of run in the playoffs, he needs him. They need him. And I'll tell you what, Paul. George PG played it. He played a solid game. He scored all of his points in the second half, almost all of them. And he was disruptive on defense. He was in the passing lanes. He was blocking shots. And we always said this. He is an elite defender for sure. And they're better with him. They were last night. And again, I'm going to try not to get too overly excited because we did play the G League Bulls. We got a tough game coming up against the Hornets, who are playing really good basketball now. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They're on a 4-game winning streak. We're playing them in Charlotte. That's going to be a good test. And, we'll see what happens. But
it will be a good test. Like I'm saying, if Embiid is, like I say this every single time, if Embiid is playing, we have a chance to win. You know what was funny to see out there on the Bulls? You said who plays on the Bulls? You don't know? Gershon
Yabusele. Yeah, I think he must have. He's been hitting the pantry a little bit too much. He looked a little.
But he looks the same to me. But what's funny to me is how valued he was with the Sixers.
Yeah.
Then he goes to free agency, signs with the Knicks. The Knicks have no use for him. Now, I didn't even realize he was on the Bulls. I think I heard about it a couple months ago, but I didn't pay attention to it. So it was funny to see him out there.
Yeah, and he what's interesting, he played pretty decent basketball for us. Now he's with the Bulls. He played horrible last night. It usually goes the other way around. We get rid of a player and then they come and they cook us. But that didn't happen last night.
I got a nice little Kyle Lowry shout out. Who would have thought we would have one for him?
Yeah.
Yesterday, I believe, was his birthday.
40th birthday.
He hit a 3-pointer to get them to 157.
Yes, he did. It was exciting to see. Now,
happy birthday, Kyle.
I'm going to be honest. We didn't stay till the end of the game because we were up by like 40 points, and we left. It was a long day, but we listened to the rest of it on the way home. It was kind of nice to see Kyle get in. It was nice to see him get in when they didn't need him.
Right.
When he wasn't needed. But yeah, I'll tell you what. Embiid looked fantastic last night. Like I said, he was playing through the concept.
VJ had a nice game.
He was locked in. He was shooting well. And VJ is just.
Have you noticed that so we know VJ's inconsistent. He's a rookie. It happens. But when he's on, his jumper is butter. It just falls right in between the net.
It does. I said to Barb, as when he penetrates the lane and he does that little fadeaway, 12, 13 foot jump shot is deadly now. I mean, he's really scary. Worked on that shot.
Only a rookie.
He's good. Everybody, look, Payne had a good game last night. He was shooting the lights out. Had 15 points and a couple assists. It was nice to see. Look, PG had 28 points last night. I think about 24 of them were in the second half. And
I mean, we were up by 30 points, and he just kind of went off, which is fine.
But that's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
How did you feel like about his pre-press conference before Jordan the media day for him returning?
I wasn't happy with that.
Why is that?
Well, I think and in hindsight, I guess I could say, okay, when he said he needed this time to get his body right and his head right, okay, I guess that's true. But when he said this layoff was good for him,
he said a blessing in disguise.
Blessing. I guess I didn't want. Maybe that's true. At the time, I was like, I didn't really like those comments, but maybe in hindsight, I understand what he's saying, and we'll see. Now let's see what happens when you play a team with LaMelo Ball and Miles Bridges and Brandon Miller and Con Knuppel, right?
It'll be a good game.
It's a different test, but now I will say this: Maxey
when your best player on the floor is Joel Embiid, and he's engaged, I think the Hornets have to worry.
He is a superstar. I think, he misses a lot of games. And, I think I've heard some people saying he's out. You kind of forget how good he is, right? I mean, how dominant he can be.
I keep going back to this. Beginning of the season, he was hurt. He was struggling. I thought his career is over. He had the resurgence. I can't believe he's playing the way he did. I have a renewed appreciation for him. Just yesterday alone, just watching him play, what he was doing in the beginning of the game and then the next 2 quarters, it was just... This guy's unbelievable. His body is breaking down, but he's still going at an elite level. And you've heard plenty of players say this, like Jeff Teague. If he was never injured, he would be one of the most dominant centers in the game ever.
I'm still amazed at how well he played last night after that layoff. He came back, didn't look like he had any rust. He was vintage Joel. Now we'll see. Now look, we have 9 games left. I think we have one back-to-back left. Is he going to play in 8 of those games now? Is he not?
Probably not. They're going to rest him a game or two before the playoffs start.
Well, I think
we got to talk about this. We got to talk about the playoffs. Let's
talk about the playoffs. So right now we're sitting in 7th. Okay. Atlanta has been on a tear. We're only a half a game behind the Raptors. I think we can.
No, the Hawks are now behind the Cavs.
They are, yeah. The Hawks are in 5th.
It's
so
crazy.
Yeah. So you got Toronto in 6th, you got the Hawks in 5th, and you got Philadelphia in 7th. Only a half a game back.
Here's the thing: 7 plays against the Celtics if it ended today.
I want to get to 6.
I want to get to 8, play the Pistons if Cade Cunningham's not playing.
Well, it's possible. It is possible with the schedule we have left. Because here's the schedule. So
you rather play the Knicks than the Pistons?
No, I'd rather play the Pistons without Cade Cunningham. Right. Yeah. But we have – so here's what we got. We got the Hornets, the Heat, the Wizards. And then we come back home. We play the Timberwolves, the Pistons, which I think we can win that game at home. Then we play the Spurs away. We're not going to win that game. I think that's a loss. They'll probably sit Joel for that game. We have a back-to-back against the Rockets and the Pacers right before the last game of the year. So I would say that he's definitely not going to play against the Pacers. That's another game we should win, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So then we finish up with the Bucks at home on Sunday the 11th.
Yep.
The end of the season. We should win that game. So you would rather us finish in 8th?
I would rather play a Pistons team without Cade Cunningham rather than a full load of Knicks. I mean, let's just be real there. I don't want to play the Celtics. I don't want to play the Knicks. I don't want to play the Cavs. If I had an option, I'm going Pistons.
You know what? You know how I feel about it at this point. With where we are, I'd rather not take a chance in the play-in, right? So if you're 7th,
that's games you could rest.
Yeah, if you're 7th or 8th, if you're 9th or 10th, you got to win 2 games to get into the playoffs, right? If you're 7th or 8th, you can lose 1 game and still make it into the playoffs. So your point about being 8th, I understand. At this point, you know what? I don't care who we play.
I care.
Well, if we roll into the playoffs healthy, play whoever we're going to play. We're going to have to play them eventually anyway.
Yeah, but I'd rather see us at least get to the first round, get to the second round. The more games we get to watch in the playoffs, the more fun it is. I don't want to see us go first round again to the Celtics. I don't want to see us go first round again to the Knicks. You want the Knicks coming into our house again and singing and dancing? No, thank you. I want to see the Pistons. I want to go with Cade Cunningham playoff game. Let's see, but I'm not sure when he's back.
I don't know either. I haven't heard.
Good luck to him. Collapse lung. That's serious. So good luck.
Yeah, serious. I heard that. I don't know what really even happened to him, but we'll see.
How do you think so you said it, eventually we're going to have to play one of those teams anyway. How far do you think the Sixers can go if healthy?
It's interesting. You say you would rather play the Cade Cunningham-less Pistons in the first round to get to the second round. I guess I look at it in maybe a different way. So say we have to play the Celtics in the first round. We go into that first round completely healthy. What if we take the Celtics down and then we get into the second round after beating Boston? I mean, now you got momentum, you got confidence, and hopefully you're still healthy.
That's the problem is that's a very tall task. I wouldn't say it's impossible. We don't have a good track record with the Celtics in the first round or second round. We don't have a good track record in general with those teams. But I mean, you're right. Either way, we're going to have to face them. I would like to see us get out the first round at least. When you score 157 points, when your superstar comes back in his first game and your anti-drug policy violation player comes back and has a pretty good game, you're still waiting on Maxey to come back. VJ is still growing in his own. It is the possibility is out there that we can make some noise.
Well, we've said this all along. We fly around the Sixers triangle, which we talk about all the time.
This has been the season of triangle flying.
I guess we just beat one of the worst teams in the league. We beat them bad. We beat the hell out. We did let them score 53 points in the fourth quarter, which is junk time. So that matters.
Right.
Are they teasing us again here, Sanaj? Are we being teased? I mean, I'm going to say, look, we've been kind of building to this over the past few weeks, knowing that PG's come back with 10 games left. knowing that Embiid's going to be back around the same time. Maxey and Oubre are very close to coming back. We're very close. And Janai Broom, he's almost back too.
Your boy Janai, your boy Jabari Walker, your boy Trendon Watford. Go down the list.
Hey, you know what? We joke about Jabari Walker and Janai Broom, but Trendon Watford, he's kind of the real deal. He's a great role player, I think.
Mac McClung scored 59 points in a G League. What does it matter? Now, Trendon Watford, he's up and down. Yeah.
Trendon Watford gets into the paint. He's a great finisher around the rim. He can give you 8, 10, 12 points a game. He's not a starter, but I think he's
12 points a game once in a while.
He's a role player. He's definitely a role player. So, you need them. You need them, right?
Right.
So I think I was telling you, before the game, we're there, watching shoot around, and I was watching Maxey and Oubre both out there. Oubre was out there warming up, hitting a lot of threes. Elbow looked good. I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but but he looked good. And Maxey doing a lot of stuff with the left hand, but he also was shooting with the right hand. So he was, we knew they weren't going to play, but he was out there in warm up. He and Kelly were out there at the same time in warm ups. So it was very promising. And I think, I think they said projecting April 1st for both of them right now.
I believe so.
It's possible.
I'm just ready for them to everyone get together. But of course, now it's March 26th right now. The playoffs are in a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks, I think. So we'll see what happens. I mean, that's all we can do. But I would say it's really nice. After a cold, dark winter, we have this nice spring day, Phillies opener. I got the sun shining outside of the window here, and the Sixers have that great win. So it's kind of hard not to be optimistic at this moment. But I will say, you asked me earlier thoughts. My body is composed of two things when it comes to the Sixers, my brain and my heart. What I see yesterday, my heart tells me we can do this. My brain tells me slow down. This is what the team does. I think the best barometer test we can have right now is, like you said, the Hornets and the Heat.
Yeah.
Let's see what we do against them, and then maybe we can gauge where this team is really at.
No, I agree. And, the one thing that could be different this year is, each year we're kind of rolling up to the playoffs with the potential to be completely healthy. And that hasn't happened. Now we still got 9 games left, right? So a lot can happen in 9 games. It can be another injury. I mean, but the whole goal this year, we said it at the very beginning of the season, before the season started. The whole goal was they were going to save Embiid's body for the playoffs, right?
They can't say that out loud. They get fined by Adam Silver.
No, well, we can say it.
Yeah,
but that's we know that they tanked last year to get the high pick, and we got VJ out of it. So Sanaj, if okay, and I'm going to put on my my hopeful hat here, my Sixers hat. If we roll into the playoffs healthy and we make a deep run, say we go to the Eastern Conference Finals, and Embiid and PG and everybody come, we stay healthy throughout the playoffs. Are we going to be willing to sit back and say that the strategy worked?
What do you say strategy? Do you mean this season strategy or the process years overall?
Well, I was thinking this year. I was thinking this year.
No, I'll say yes. I would say yes. If we got to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in Embiid's tenure, finally, and the strategy was to hold them out until the end, and maybe PG did a little something, they hold themselves out in condition and come back strong. No, 1,000%.
We'll see what happens here in the stretch run with 9 games to go. But I'll tell you, it was fun last night. The game was never in doubt. We had a 47-point lead in the third quarter. I know it's fun to go to close, exciting games, but every once in a while, it's fun to see your team blow another team out.
Yep.
Well, what else we got? Anything else for me tonight?
I think it's time to wrap it up because it's a nice day out.
Hey, guys, look, you guys out there in listening land, we need more subscribers, and we need you guys to go in and click subscribe when you see this video, because if you don't, you know what happens. He gets depressed, and we don't want to see him become another PG again.
I don't care at all.
He does care. Yeah,
I'm going to say don't subscribe. It doesn't matter to me. Go outside, enjoy the day. It's beautiful. I think this is the warmest day of the week in our neck of the woods. So enjoy it.
Yeah.
Have a great time, everyone. Thank you for inviting us into your home through this podcast.
when we look at YouTube, we'll see no new subscribers. Sinaj, he gets a tear in his eye. Hey, everybody, for Ring the Damn Bell, I am John.
I'm Sinaj.
And we are out.
Out.